Good afternoon, grade 11s. Welcome to the LO lesson for today. My name is Puleng Nitiga and I am your teacher for LO for the duration of the lockdown. Up here on the slide is my email, litigapuleng@yahoo.com, and you can contact me for any questions that you have with regards to LO. So anything that you want to speak to me about with regards to LO, you are welcome to contact me over the email. So today we're going to do chapter 11, unit 3. You know, yesterday we were busy with chapter 11, unit 2. And today we're going to be dealing with the factors that impact positively on lifestyle choices. If you can remember yesterday, we dealt with the factors that impact negatively on lifestyle choices. So we looked at all the things that are negative influences that can influence you negatively with regards to how you live your life. So today we are going to focus on the positive influences that can influence your behavior and influence the way you live your life. So the lesson objectives for today, what you need to know is you need to know the positive role models in your life, which can be your parents and your peers. You need to know personal values, belief systems, and religion, which are also positive influences. And you need to know media, social, and cultural influences. And you need to know economic conditions. So basically, these are the kinds of influences that we're going to look at that can change your behavior or that can influence your lifestyle. So let's begin with today's lesson. Factors that impact positively on lifestyle choices. Your positive experience. So these are the positive things that happen in your life. The positive relationships you form. These can be relationship with your parents, your friends, your family members, even with your teachers, the people at church, your friends around where you live, your neighbors, and just everyone you come into contact with. And positive environments impact positively on your lifestyle. So too does maintaining positive values and an attitude of respect for yourself and others. We're going to look at these values along the lesson. There are many people who want the best for you, and they are positive influences. So we know that there are people who are negative, and we always focus on the people who are negative, who don't like you for whatever reason, the people that we say aren't a positive influence in our lives. But there are people who want the best for us, and there are people who are positive influences. And today we are going to look at those people. We're going to focus on those people because whatever you focus on grows. So we're going to look at growing and feeding the positive thing. So we're going to focus on the positive influences, and we're hoping to grow in this area. They are your role models if the way they live their lives serve as a positive example of how you behave. So all these people that do positive things, that are succeeding in life, can serve as your role models as long as their behavior is exemplary for you. So positive role models. So we're going to start with these positive role models, and this slide we're looking at parents and peers as positive role models. Parents have influence over their children. Children watch and learn their parents' behavior. So remember, from a young age, a child will start mimicking the behavior of the parent, meaning the parent is very influential in the child's behavior. So according to sociology, which is my major, uh, the family is part of the social of primary socialization. So you learn how to do a lot of things at home, and then everything else that you learn on top of that will be your secondary socialization, or the everything else will come after that. So basically, your family is where you learn how to behave, how to think, which values to stick to, and you learn your norms and just everything that will carry you through life. So, second bullet point, parents and caregivers create security and an environment in which their children to grow. So, there's no parent that will want their children to grow in a dangerous environment. So there are lots of ways that parents can make sure that their children have security. Some parents make sure that their children seldom go to other people's homes. When you visit your friends' homes, your parents will make sure they have those parents' numbers. Maybe they've visited them before to check out the environment that they live in. Some of your parents might even check out your friends, whether your friends are a positive influence or not. They won't want you to hang around friends who are negative influences. Some of your parents will check when you're on social media, what kind of sites you're on, and how long you're spending on social media, and who is following you and who are you friends with on Facebook. And all of these things your parents are doing to create a security around you and to create an environment where you can grow safely. Third bullet point, children see their parents interacting with others in different settings. Watch how they solve problems and show kindness. So most of the time, your parents teach you how to behave. So if you see your parents respecting other people and okay, Putumelo Radira has the hands raised. So let me hear what Putumelo's question is. Putumelo.
Hello.
Putumelo, must I
Yebo, hello.
move on and then when you're ready, you ask?
Yes, yes.
Okay, third bullet point. Children see their parents interacting with others in different settings. Watch how they solve problems and show kindness. So basically, when you see your parents respecting other people, and when you see your parents interacting well, maybe speaking well with other people, being kind and being caring, that is the behavior that you will also project towards other people. And then how they solve problems, do they get into physical altercations with other people, or do they solve their problems diplomatically? Do they speak and try to find resolutions, or do they end up being abusive? So a lot of people who come from abusive homes or homes where they solve things by fighting, they usually also portray this behavior when they're grown. They solve things through fighting physically, and they don't sit down to solve problems by having conversations and seeing how they can act positively and make a positive contribution towards solving the problem. So the fourth bullet point, while children retain their individuality, they take on the morals and principles of their families in early life. So even in psychology, it does say that the first maybe 7 years of a life, then the child gets the child's values and norms get formed, and everything that they learn after that gets reinforced. So you can get your individuality and your individual identity later on, or it can get added, but the principles you will still have if they've instilled values of respect, commitment, and kindness and caring. Those are things that you may find that you carry with you for the rest of your life. So if you've grown up in a good family, then you'll probably grow up, carry that out throughout your life. You are able to benefit from a positive influence from your peers by the relationships that you choose to form. Peers are a positive influence when they encourage you to succeed in your schoolwork, cultural activities, and sports. So this is about the friends that you choose. So we can see where you're going. You know that saying, birds of the same feather flock together. You can almost always tell by the people that a person hangs out with uh, what they're about. So choose your friends carefully. Make sure they have the same goals as you. You don't want a friend that bunks class if you want to be a medic or if you want to be an engineer. You need someone who's going to pay attention in the maths class and practice and do their homework. So you want to be around peers that encourage you to behave in a positive manner. And if you want to maybe participate in cultural activities and in sports, you might want to hang around with someone that has similar interests. So if you want to play soccer or rugby, you might want to make a friend who also wants to play soccer and rugby. Cultural activities, if you want to do chess or be part of the Rotary Club, then you might have to make friends with people who want what you want too, so that you can excel in those areas. Second bullet point, the impact on your lifestyle is positive when they do not take part in risky behaviors and convince you to follow their example. So if your friends have a positive influence in your life by not taking part in risky behaviors, for example, maybe underage drinking or substance abuse, or maybe dating whilst you're in grade 8, grade 9, things like that, things that take your focus away from your schoolwork, then you want to be around friends that help you to focus on your schoolwork, and then following their example will help you improve as a learner, and they'll help you to be a better person in general. Third bullet point, there are good role models if they are goal-orientated, have a good ethic, and are kind and loyal. So those are values: being kind and being loyal, being caring, being humble, since they can influence you to develop the similar qualities. So what happens is when you hang out with someone, it's either that person can influence you or you can influence them. So always choose the person whose energy you can feed off, someone who's not pessimistic. You want someone who has positive energy, someone who's optimistic, someone who's encouraging, someone who will motivate you, and someone who will push you in the right direction and help you to be the best version of you. So you don't want someone who's going to drag you and pull you down and focus on negative things. So you want to have the same goals as your friends, the same work ethic, which obviously should be good, like keeping up with homework and assignments. And then being kind and loyal, you do want someone who has those values. You don't want someone who's not kind towards other people. That is not good leadership. And you also want that person to be able to influence you in a positive manner. So personal values, belief system, and religion, and these are still positive influence. So values can be defined as those things that are important to you. Your values are influenced by your family, your community, your school, your belief system, and your religion. Personal values give you an idea of what is right. So everything that you get taught from your family, the values your community holds, or the rules that that you have at your school, they're not there to make your school life a horrible one. They're there to teach you certain things in life, like school starting on time, classes being on time, you covering certain chapters in a certain time. Those are things that are there to teach you that time is important. They're there to train you that maybe you need to start your work on time in the future after you finish school. Work starts at 8:30 to 5 o'clock, and maybe taking extra classes trains you to know that you might have to work overtime. So these are things that shape you in general. Your belief system, let's say you're a Christian, you'll have good values like love your neighbor as you love yourself. So that also means you'll start loving yourself first, and then you'll pour out your love into other people, praying and just reading the word. Those are things that help you to be centered. So, and personal values give you an idea of what is right. And all these things help you to focus on those good morals and values that we need as people. Second bullet point, we all have a set of personal values, whether we are consciously aware of them or not. So everyone has personal values. Sometimes you're not aware of things that influence you, but things like the community that you grew up in, the school that you have has a certain ethos, the organizations that you're part of, maybe you're part of the wildlife club or you're part of a sports club. Those things have influence on you. Your religion has influence on you. So these are influences that can cause you to behave in a certain way. Research studies have found that adolescents
We
religious
can't
youth groups.
hear.
So spending time at youth service or at church praying, that can take away the time that you can spend maybe at a club or at a party or with friends discussing things that really won't benefit you in any way. So maybe spending time doing religious activities, whatever your religion would be good for you to stay away from things and to get motivated by other young people who have positive minds and who are centered and who know better than you. Sometimes you have adults there or youth leaders that are much older than you who've been through what you're going through. They've been teenagers, they've been at school, and maybe they've started working. They're also there for extra classes. Now the services are developed. You can have tutors there, and they're very holistic. Basically, they can service you in different areas of your life. And then media, social, and cultural influences. The media is a powerful influence on how people act, since the messages and the images portrayed reach many people. So the media is everything. I think we can discuss social media: Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, and also music videos. Like music videos are what influence a lot of young people today. In music videos, we see a lot of ladies who aren't dressed appropriately. We see a lot of drinking and alcohol. We know that there's a certain substance that people in maybe hip hop videos abuse, some mixture of acidic drink and a certain medication. I can't mention the exact ingredients because some people will take the recipe and go try it out. But we have influences such as that, people taking substances and drinking alcohol on videos, and that encourages young people who watch these videos, because these are their role models and these are influences. They think that this is the correct way to behave, then they start acting the exact way that their influences behave. And then it's also vulgar music. Then we don't speak correctly anymore. We aren't diplomatic. Now we start speaking in vulgar language, and sometimes we don't even see that we're speaking to adults anymore. So social media, we have a problem with trolls, people dragging people. Um, it will be things like body shaming, commenting on whether someone is overweight or is skinny. So that is bullying, teasing people according to maybe whether they've studied or dropped out, and things that are beyond people's control. For instance, a person can't change the way they look. They can't change the fact that they are not fair skinned or they don't have the right kind of hair texture. So if you're going to pick on someone because they are 2 shades lighter or they have a pointy nose or they have big ears, you're teasing someone about something that they can't change. So that is bullying, and it does take place. Obviously, it spills out into our schools and into our organizations. So there's also fake news, which is something that has been trending for the past few years, maybe 2, 3 years, where people send out news online most of the time through your Twitters and your other social media platforms and all these online news platforms that have now emerged, where people blatantly lie and just encourage some propaganda. They'll lie about other people. They'll have smear campaigns where they make other people look bad, and then without actually checking the facts of whether what they're saying is true or not. So, for instance, right now we're dealing with COVID-19. So COVID-19 means we need to spread a lot of truthful facts. We need to spread the correct information, because when we spread false information, then we might send people into panic. And when people panic, they do lots of things. Like we saw people panic buying because they thought that there won't be enough food in the country and that there'll be a shortage. So it's things like that we need to stop, because they don't help us to fight the pandemic properly. Like, people are misinformed about a lot of things, so you must check your sources twice. Don't believe everything that you read, and make sure that you know who's written the story and that you can follow it up. News stories that report on negative consequences of risky behaviors inform you of the dangers of such behavior. Educational articles add to your knowledge of a variety of important issues like substance abuse and teenage sexuality. So when you want to replace these bad social media influences, for instance, the trolling that we see on platforms like Twitter and the dragging of people through WhatsApp videos that are circulating, you should rather invest your time in looking at educational articles. Maybe you can Google um, portals like Google Scholar and use those portals to maybe check out educational articles and scholarly articles to get more information about your lessons. Right now it's the lockdown, so you don't want to spend a lot of time reading up on people who do negative things. You maybe want to spend your time checking whether your understanding of your mathematics and science is going well. So you might want to go on YouTube and check out some YouTube tutorials of maths, science, economics, and or maybe your practice subjects. So you can replace the bad media with the good media by also reading positive articles. You can still buy newspapers and you can still read positive books. So just replace the news feed and the negative things that you hear with positive things. And then this slide, the first bullet point, the values of a particular society can often be identified by the way the members honor and respect certain people. So for instance, we honor in our country, we honor and respect maybe some of our political heroes. I'll make an example with our former president, the first president of our Democratic Party, President Nelson Mandela. We honor him and we respect him. So what does he stand for? He stands for democracy, reconciliation, forgiveness. So when we honor and respect him, it means that is what we identify with, and that is what the outside community, other countries can identify us with, as a forgiving country, a country that is loving, a country that is following the rules of democracy. We care about what people say, the opinions. We don't follow dictators and stuff like that. So even other political heroes that we look up to and exemplary people. For instance, our president right now, President Cyril Ramaphosa, if we take him seriously and adhere to the rules that he gives us, then we are showing a good commitment to the country for us to be able to fight the pandemic that we're facing right now. So if he's a good leader right now, then he is a representation of what we believe in our country, because he's the person that we have elected. So usually these people serve as role models for their communities. So those are our role models. And in your community, you can look up to maybe your ward councillor, maybe someone, maybe the doctor that's been in your township for a long time. You know, sometimes we have nurses and clinicians who have been in our communities for quite some time. So we get to know them. We even know their names. So these are the people that we look up to, people who contribute positively to our communities. And then the second bullet point, cultures have values that are shared by the people who behave in a positive way. These traditional ceremonies usually involve lessons about responsibilities in adulthood, the importance of self-respect, and respect for other people's bodies. So here we're talking about cultures and the positive influences that they have. So for instance, there are cultures that have rituals like rites of passage when you're moving from what they used to classify you as a child, and now you're moving into being an adult. So they'll have maybe a ritual for you, a celebration for you, and as part of the celebration, they'll take you to a room maybe and teach you what they expect from you as now an adult, as someone who's going to assume adult responsibilities. They'll tell you maybe you need to start looking after your body extra, or they'll tell you that you need to now start taking responsibilities at home, like cooking, washing, and cleaning up after yourself. Now you're no longer a child. And then yes, they even values like maybe helping to take care of your siblings, and maybe with respect for your body, for other people's bodies, and self-respect. You'll find that there are rituals like maybe with, for example, in the Zulu culture, there is virginity testing where they encourage young people not to participate in sexual activities until they're married. So basically that is a respect for your body. And then maybe there are 21st birthday parties where you will want to look forward to a 21st birthday party because they are hosted for you if you don't have a child for marriage before 21, and where maybe you've graduated when you're 21, and then this is the kind of celebration that they'll hold for you where when they think that you have behaved in a positive manner and you have listened to your parents. So then how this is a positive influence is that when you're growing up and you see your siblings or your older siblings and cousins uh, being celebrated in this manner, then you look up to them and you also want to be celebrated like that. So you will commit yourself to behaving well so that you can also have your own 21st birthday party. So it becomes like a ripple effect and something that happens from generation to generation, something that you look forward to as a child. And then economics as a positive influence. So economic conditions impact positively on your lifestyle choices when you can afford to choose sports and cultural activities that develop you. So if you can afford to take part in sports activities, then they can influence you positively. Sports can teach you discipline. Sports can teach you how to do teamwork, how to be responsible. It can teach you how to listen to other people. It can build up your leadership qualities. It can help you to be a more organized person. Cultural activities can help you to know how to be humble and treat other people. So if you can afford to take part in sports, then sports will develop you. So you benefit by being able to associate with peers who compete with you in such activities, which motivates you to excel. A positive financial position allows for a good quality medical care, superior education, and opportunities. We know that we all coming from different families and we don't have the same financial backgrounds. So what happens is if you are in a better position financially, then you'll probably afford a bit more, a better medical care. So maybe you'll be on medical aid, whereas someone will have to go to a public hospital. And in superior education, maybe you can go to a private school, whereas someone will go to a public school. Not that public schools can't do the job. You'll just maybe have to work a bit extra harder. And also, that's not to say that when you're in a private school, you don't have to work hard. So, if an opportunity presents itself for you to study, you obviously have to study hard and do well. So, opportunities in the future, I think if you do study well, everyone will have the opportunity to have a better future. So economic conditions can restrict you in that maybe you want to join the sports, but you can't because you don't have the equipment. For instance, if you wanted to play hockey, then you can't afford a hockey stick or shin guards or some hockey shoes, or you can't afford now the second team uniform or now the first team uniform. And this is maybe because your school doesn't provide those equipment, or that the school doesn't lend you, and then you can maybe bring it back at the end of the season. If it's all on you to pay for these financial expectations, then you obviously won't be able to participate in the sport. Sometimes you commute with public transport or you have a taxi that fetches all of you from school, then you find that you can't stay behind, because then if you stay behind, it means that your taxi or your bus will leave you. So these are the kinds of things that set us back economically. But obviously, if you are doing well financially, then it means that it will have a positive impact on your life. So the summary for today is your positive experience, the positive relationships you form, and the positive environments impact positively on your lifestyle. So too does maintaining positive values and attitude of respect for yourself and others. There are many people who want the best for you and they are positive influences. So we have spoken about who these people are, our friends, our spiritual leaders, our parents, our teachers too, and just the people around us who are positive. They are your role models if they live their lives and serve as a positive example of how to behave. So it means there are good people and there are good influences. You just have to take time to look at these people, find them in your communities, find them in your schools. They may mentor you. Maybe there's a school teacher that you look up to, or there are prefects that you look up to, the head boy in your school, or the old boys, or someone at church or in your community. There are positive influences. Just look at them and try to do as they do. So your activity, something that you can do by yourself, is just try to name the factors that impact positively on your lifestyle choices. So remember, you can just try to memorize, put them down and see if you can remember them. So it is the names of the factors that impact positively on your lifestyle choices. So you can check out this link. It is on positive lifestyle choices. So yes, that is the link that you can follow. Let me go back to the link again. So it's https and then it's study.com and then it's academy lesson. So that is the link that you can follow. So thank you for the lesson, grade 11s. Thank you for joining me for today's lesson. So tomorrow we're going to have our lesson, our Thursday lesson. As you know, that Friday is a public holiday. It's Workers' Day, I think, on the 1st of May. And today we covered Unit 3 of Chapter 11. So tomorrow we're going to cover Unit 4. So we're going to cover Unit 4. So yes, that is it for today. So for more information, you can contact Africa Teen Gig, Africa Teen Gigs, and then follow us on social media at Africa Teen Gigs on all social media platforms. So basically what you can also do is you can still email me. I put my email on the first slide. So it is Litika Puleng. Litika is my surname. Puleng is my name with small letters. Litika Puleng at yahoo.com. So sorry for that, at yahoo.com. So thank you very much for joining me for today. Hope to see you tomorrow. Okay, so hope to see you tomorrow. Thank you very much. Goodbye.